Phytoplankton are the key energy source to all of the Antarctic food webs, but they also play an important role in regulating the climate of the planet. That might seem a little bit far-fetched, but by virtue of the sheer weight of numbers right across all of the ocean, and in particular all of the Southern Ocean, they can control atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations. By photosynthesis, they fix some of the carbon dioxide that's dissolved in the ocean, and then if the phytoplankton cells then sink down into the ocean's interior, never to return again to the surface, they've essentially captured that carbon. What then has to happen in the upper ocean is to restore the balance between carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the ocean. They have to then draw atmospheric carbon dioxide into the ocean, and in that way they're acting as a carbon sink, and it's referred to as the biological pump. It's the way in which ocean biology then can help to regulate the global climate. When we look back in the deep distant past, and by that I mean maybe over the last 1 million years, we see that things were not always the same as they are in the present day. When we look back, we see there were times when the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere was up to 1/3 lower than it is at present. And that's really been sort of the holy grail of understanding how the climate of this planet works. We've been trying to puzzle that out for probably the last 40 or 50 years. What you might say is, well, how can we look back 1 million years in time? And some very clever people have been able to take ice cores from a particular part of Antarctica where the ice is very thick. These ice cores could be 4 kilometers in length. And by drilling down 4 kilometers in length, that'll take you back almost years ago. What the geologists then do is cut the ice into into short sections, and they're then able to analyze the carbon dioxide in the tiny air bubbles that's actually trapped in the ice. And that provides them with a record so they can look back in time and see how atmospheric carbon dioxide has changed in the last 1 million years. At present, there are three compelling explanations for what is controlling the global climate, and all of them come from the Southern Ocean. One of them is to do with the way water circulates by ocean currents around the globe, and in some cases if you shut that circulation down, then you can actually trap more of this carbon dioxide rich water deep in the ocean. Another explanation that has to do with sea ice and being able to trap carbon dioxide underneath the sea ice. It forms sort of like a barrier layer. And in the third candidate to explain this change in global climate then comes from a time in the past when we had a lot more iron in the Southern Ocean. And as I mentioned earlier, the phytoplankton over much of the Southern Ocean are anemic, and this iron actually came from more dust that blew in, we think mainly from the deserts of Patagonia.